Okay, it should be live. Welcome back. Last time I left off having just gotten the sort of manual install of Asahi Linux to work, just copying an existing install, but a minimalist set of files. And for those who didn't see what the story was, basically TLDR, we need to have a fake macOS install with a bunch of things the way macOS does it as a sort of bootstrap for Asahi Linux. So that's why this is kind of complicated. And that includes firmware files and iBoot and a bunch of other things. So basically, I'm writing not so much the Linux part of the Asahi Linux installer, but rather writing a subset of the macOS installer that can install what we need for Asahi Linux. So let me get my yep, okay, get my chats on. So I'm downloading. So I'm using 12.0 beta 3, just because that's what I happen to have installed and testing recently. There's a beta 4 too, but once everything works with beta 3, hopefully I can just try installing beta 4 and it won't fail. But anyway, so I'm downloading the full IPSW file. But one of the things that I want to try is making a little shimp so that Python can stream zip files from the internet instead of downloading them as a whole thing. So this will take about 12 minutes. And while that's happening, I'm going to reboot back into actually an older version of macOS that I have on the macOS partition on this thing. Because the good thing about this is the installer is, I'm kind of intending it for it to run from recovery mode, but most of it can run from macOS. So in fact, in most circumstances, it should be able to just run from macOS. You will still have to reboot into recovery mode eventually to finish the install, but that's like a second stage thing. So it's nice for development to have a real OS, because recovery mode is kind of very annoying to run things in. So let's see. Make sure I get my chats in here. Yeah. So I'm going to reboot. And the first thing I want to do is see if I can get a standalone Python working. Probably I will just rip a Python package, like an official Python package. Oh, and by the way, also, I want the build process for the installer. Obviously, the installer itself will only run on Macs. But I want the build process for the installer to ideally be able to run on Linux. So I don't want to use any macOS-only tools to package the installer. And the installer is going to be network-based for most users, but there should also be a way of downloading a package with everything you need. Though that will have to, in that case, include the entire 12 gigabyte or 13 gigabyte macOS install file from Apple, because obviously, I mean, I guess we could provide a script that downloads only the parts that you need and then provides them to the installer. So I might look into that later, but that'll be for the final version, things that I don't have to worry about right now. So let me get into macOS first. And yeah, the first thing I want to just get that Python thing sorted out, because it'll be pretty convenient if that works. And by the way, I should bookmark this website actually. Let me bookmark this under Asahi. Because this is the one site I found that has all the IPSW files, including the beta ones, which is nice, because I'm basing everything on the beta. We'll probably use, I mentioned this before, 12.0 Monterey will probably be the minimum supported version to base Linux off of. How far away are you in Patreon from me being able to work full-time on Asahi? I need to double check, but it hasn't really gone up. It's gone down since the beginning of the year, actually. There was like a big peak, and then it's gone down, but very slowly, though. So I think it's been stuck in the like 70% or so for quite a while. But I kind of expect that, sort of once we have a shiny demo, something to, with graphics and that kind of thing, then there'll be a bit of an influx of people. So yeah, the IPSW is 13 gigabytes, but you don't actually need most of the stuff in here. You need about 1 gigabyte, which is the recovery image, and all the firmware files, which are not that big. So I'm downloading the whole thing now just so I can have it locally for testing. but I'm going to be serving it with a web server and doing a thing so that I can let me just close all the other types so that I don't have to like have people download the whole thing. So basically, the file has these DMGs inside, right? And this 12 gigabyte one is the huge one, and I don't need that, but we need this one though. We need the recovery image. So my idea, by the way, is just that like Python supports zip files with a file interface. All I need to do is write a little sort of caching wrapper thing that does range HTTP requests behind the scenes, and instantiating the zip file Python class on top of that should just make a streaming zip file reader. So hopefully that'll work. But let's look at the Python first. So python.org, if I can type that properly, and or Mac and macOS. Did I get the password for that right? Yeah. No, it did not. This is probably from the bad install. Cancel. So let's go SSH in because I really don't want to use that keyboard. Root. Yeah, we can do everything as root. Actually, you know what? I'm going to SSHFS because that way I can edit files and then start working on the installer from here. So there will probably be a script for building the installer that'll grab some binaries and things from around, things that we need. For example, we need H4 tool. It might be nice to have this written in Python at some point, but right now this already exists. Is this a fork? I've had both for some reason. No, this one. This was the one that has the builds. Yeah. So for example, we will need this binary, which is easier to just get a binary from. No, but again, I'm just doing a prototype for now, so it doesn't have to be the exact final version for everything. The Apple boot chime. It doesn't bother me. I find it kind of charming that it does that when I reboot. So let's get the latest universal installer. Unfortunately, there's no like only ARM version, so there's gonna be a bunch of crap here. But let's see. So if I go to Asahi, let's make a Git. Even though I'm not gonna make a Git right now, let's make at least a folder under Git. Asahi installer. And we need Python. So this was a czar, yeah. 7-zip can uncompress these, so as long as you have 7-zip, we're cool. So let me make this bigger. I go to Python. So if I get this, and we get all of this, and then the framework, I think, is the only one we care about. And payload would be a gzip, compressed data, whatever. So this 27 megabyte. This is the actual Python thing. This should be a CPIO, I believe. Yeah. So in principle, I can just extract this. Does it have it has the Python binaries and everything. And now the question is, can I run this standalone on macOS from a random directory? I think the answer is yes, as long as I set Python path. So we'll see. And can it run from recovery mode? Hopefully it can. Well, we know we can run custom binaries from recovery mode, so as long as there's nothing weirdly broken about dependencies on this, it should actually work. So it needs lib and Python 3.9. Yeah, so we're gonna need yeah, but that's recovery mode doesn't really like the linker paths though. So I kind of wonder if that's gonna work. Well, we'll see. It might be that we have to. Is that a thing on macOS? Yeah, you should be able to run libraries from within an application bundle. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how dynamic linking like paths work on macOS. But also most of this shouldn't actually. Oh, okay, let's see what happens. So let's just copy this payload Asahi mnt fla installer Python CPIO, and then CPIO. I keep forgetting what the damn options are here. Dash I Python CPIO. Oh, this is not the right. I need to do that. I need to. Where's my SSH? Oh, I haven't SSH yet. Sorry. Yeah. Root at fuachilan. Oh, sorry. Installer. Okay. Let's delete this and make a Python directory. Okay. So can I actually run this? Obviously, it's not going to work. Yeah. Versions 3.9. Bin Python 3.9. So I don't expect that to work. No. It's looking for Python framework. So this is going to be kind of annoying. Because I know I can get like a... I know there's going to be a thing